Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Dialed Minds. Today's special guest, Taylor Bishop, one of South Australia's top selling agents in real estate over the last 10 years. Welcome Taylor, you've sold almost $1 billion worth of real estate. That's so impressive, mate. Welcome to the Dialed Minds podcast. I'm your host, Josh Arnold. Each episode we dive into the minds of high performers, from trailblazing business owners and founders to iconic sports heroes and everyday legends who've carved out their own path to success. We're unpacking real stories from real people to answer the big question: what does success truly mean? So whether you're chasing a dream, building something from the ground up, or simply looking for a spark of inspiration, you're in the right place. Let's dial in. Let's get straight into it.
Thank you. Oh, thanks for having me. I haven't been doing many of these podcasts before, so absolute pleasure to be here in your presence. Let's see what we can bring to the table.
Straight into it, you've built so much success for yourself. I've been following you for a few years now, over your career. You know, probably a lot of people recognise your face. They've seen you on 7 News, selling SA. You said before, you've got, another one being aired soon.
Yep.
Yeah, walk me through that and that experience.
I always was fascinated by people that had these connections with media, and I was thinking, how do you get involved in these things? And so I feel like my energy shift was always to try and get on TV and expose my clients' properties in that way. I was lucky enough to stumble across a beautiful person called Jasmine Thurlings, and she was in control of the segment. Mm-hmm. I met her in passing and we hit it off, and now I simply say that she could sell me the story and you can sell the dream. So I always just give her a call with a good story tag. So next week's one, as an example, is called Manoa Cottage, and it's a 1920s white weatherboard. It's been nicely extended too, so it's got a cool storyline, lots of history attached to it, and 7 News just love putting that out to the network. Gets a lot of readership and viewership. So for me, it's a really cool tool that I use to help my clients get more exposure for their properties. And there's not many agents that have that connection to do that. So that's kind of a little kit in my bag.
I feel like you would get so much reach. The audience has just grown so much because the news is helping you sell. And I can imagine, obviously, you've put in a lot of work to be a recognised agent that the media want to work with as well, which is really impressive. So why real estate? When did this start?
Fascinating story, to be honest. I'm an introverted person, and no one ever sees that or understands that when I say it out loud. That's how I feel internally. Maybe I put it out there that I'm more extroverted, but I feel like that's a learned skill more so than something I'm born with. I went to uni. I wanted to become a valuer, which is crazy to think back to now, how boring that lifestyle would have been. No offense to valuers if they're listening. I had a friend from uni call me randomly, and I was kind of stuck in a bit of a rut, and he said to me, "Taylor, you'd be amazing at sales. Come and sell real estate." And I won't say who it is because we're not mates anymore per se, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be anywhere near the person I am today. So it's those moments of alignment where he just called me out of the blue and I needed a fresh start in something.
And it was life-changing.
Yeah, I got the job straight away. I remember walking into the interview and everything felt all of a sudden normal and easy, and it was exciting. So found my field.
Great. And how long have you been in real estate for?
I think it's a decade now. When I'm in lounge rooms with clients, I always say I'm like the newcomer, whereas now, having sold close to $1 billion worth of property and maybe in the industry over 10 years now, I'm kind of one of the old timers and one of the experienced ones.
You're part of the furniture.
Part of the furniture. I think I used that tag actually at the other day. Doesn't go down as well, I must admit. People love new energy and things. So I feel like lately I've been trying to recreate that as well. Yeah.
I love the way that you've sort of built your brand in real estate. And that's, when I first met you a few years ago and started following you, I loved that you weren't selling property. You are selling property, but you're really selling the feeling and the experience behind it. And some of the advertising and the marketing that you've been involved with is, some of the videos and stuff like that. For me, it catches my eye. I know I'm not looking at a price range of the properties that you're selling sometimes, but I think that you brought so many things into it as well, like fashion and your own personal brand into real estate. And maybe once upon a time, I don't know enough about real estate, but maybe 20 years ago, it was very much about the property. And now it's so much about the feeling or the experience that people can get when they come and purchase a property with you.
That's cool. I mean, I think it's really cool that maybe that my authenticity is coming through. For me, I feel like my biggest skill set is emotional intelligence, reading the room, helping people in that last 5%. So like if you were to ask me what my biggest skill is, it would be like the last 5% is my biggest skill. And what that means is a lot of people can, go through Macca's drive-through and get asked if they want fries. Like if you went through a Macca's drive-through with me, you would be walking out with fries, dessert, and an upsized drink because you want it, right? And so for me, when I'm selling real estate, I love hearing the stories about why they bought it in the first place, what memories are here. And then I use that to capture the marketing element when we're actually putting it out to the market and sell that story of what the next person has the advantage of receiving if they bought the property.
You've built so much success in real estate. Your name's known everywhere. Google your name, you see it. What is that like, obviously in your personal life and stuff like that? I can imagine the pressure of a job, that the job that you have is it takes a toll in itself.
Yeah. It's certainly something you get used to. When I first started, I wasn't scared at all. I backed myself in. Like the first 3 years, I think I doubled my business every year, and I broke the record for a starter in Australia. So I think I wrote 449, which is in commission terms for the year. So people told me you'd be lucky to write 100 or 50. Maybe even not sell a home. Like that was kind of the mentality. Whereas I kind of went into it thinking, no, I back myself in. I'm going to make this happen. And it came through at the beginning with a lot of hard work that no one will ever see now. Whereas if people in my office at the moment see me, that I look really relaxed, calm. They call me the part-timer. I just work smarter, not harder now. I've done that foundational work and the hard work in the first few years. But definitely year 3 to say 7, that was a really challenging time for me because I went to Harris Real Estate and I was trying to climb the ladder there. And I was looking for a lot of external validation in terms of where I finished on the leaderboard, how many houses I sold, what kind of commission I was writing. And that was like my identity for 4 years. And it was a very shallow time for me, and lots of lessons that I learned from that experience and a heap of pressure. And it was all pressure put on myself for what I was chasing. Whereas now I feel experienced in a sense. So I've had all those unique experiences. And for me now, it's about having fun. And if I'm not having fun, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's great. And I feel like now after, meeting you again after a few years, you seem a lot more calm and collected. I know when I met you, you were chasing the top, and I've been at an awards night with you before, and I know the look on your face when I think back then you were definitely chasing the top of the ladder, but now you're happy with what you are, but you want so much more, but so much more within yourself. You look very aligned with yourself now, which is really, really cool.
If you saw me last week, it wouldn't be the same.
Well, you're changing every day.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
No, I think last year I went through a massive transition where I was like climbing the ladder. I kind of felt like I reached the top. So when you set goals for yourself and you find, my God, I'm actually here.
Yeah.
And it was like this relief factor, just like set free. And in a matter of 2 to 3 months, it was all taken away from me. And it was all out of my control. And my whole identity was thrown in the bin. So all that like hard work, 9 years of like scoping it and creating it, was all gone within a matter of 2 to 3 months. And in the moment, that was the worst thing ever that could possibly happen to me.
And you can fall so much harder than all the years of hard work going up, can't you? We
Correct.
spoke about that. Yeah, I think I said in the last episode of Dialed Minds is I never want the journey to stop. I never actually want to feel like I've actually got to the end or the finish line because, for me, it's not the finish line and it's not the success that I've built. It's what I'm doing every day. And, I'm not in real estate, but for the businesses I'm starting and the people we're giving jobs and the opportunities we get to provide to people every day, I think is, for me, that's the success in the journey. And I don't ever want to see the finish line because I think very much the same. I think I'll let my guard down and I'll probably fall to the bottom very fast, and then have to go through all the years of building myself up again. So
yeah. I can tell you from now rebuilding that phase, if anyone's going through that are listening, just trust the process. It's happening for a reason. I know it's a like cliche line. In the moment, you just do not believe that to be true. But what got me through it was my connection with my family, friends, connection with myself. Like I'm always fit and healthy. I never lost that. So one of the things I could control when I was going through the deep end was how healthy I was, what I was eating, how I was sleeping, which wasn't that great, but that's another story for another day. I got a personal trainer. I've got a mobility coach, I've got a life coach. Like all those three factors of my life are all pretty solid. And if it wasn't for the people that are around me that were kind of motivating me, encouraging me and telling me it's all going to be okay, there's no way I would have got through it alone.
I agree with that so much by putting, you are what you put yourself around, because I know I'm the same. I try now situate myself around the best people and, people who want to perform really well. So,
and what they say about you is important too. You learn a lot about yourself by what they say. Like I got my best mate who lives with me in our little bachelor pad at home. And this morning he said something to me that I had it in my blind spot. I hadn't even realized that that's a part of me. And it left me feeling like energized this morning. So I thought, wow, he knows me better than most. And I didn't know that about myself. So you learn a lot from them.
Yeah, honesty goes a long way, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. You spoke about, having to fall down and trusting the process. And I think for people listening, that's so important, because how many times in your career and the situations that we get in where everything's going to shit and everything's falling down pretty hard. And, for business as well, the bills are flooding in around you, taxes coming in, taxes coming hard. You're on a payment plan, you're trying to do everything. Maybe the market's changed for you in real estate. And I think it's so important for people to understand that post that process is this huge incline of growth, and it's the pit before the huge climb. And now we purposely put ourselves in a pit sometimes, not mentally we stay very clear, but in business we put ourselves in a pit, and we do that on purpose. We take 10 steps backwards now because we know what's coming on the other side of it. And there's going to be growth by the hundreds in percentage wise. I think that's when you say trust the process, it's so important.
It's the only thing you can control.
Yeah. So where do you find time for yourself and what you actually enjoy? A lot of people keep saying to me, with my schedule and stuff these days, is, are you making time for yourself? Are you making time for this? And I don't know about you in real estate, but for me, this is making time for myself. This is what I love.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do.
You can see it on your face. For
yeah,
sure.
100%. So I just love doing this every day. Why do I need to make time for myself? I have time for my partner. I have time for my family and friends and stuff like that. But doing this for 50, 60, 70 hours a week, this is what I love. And this is what I want to do.
Amazing.
How is that for you?
For me, it's lifestyle. So work for me, I like to be structured in the mornings. I've just been acclimatized to that from working my Harris days, and it does work. Like you control your mornings where you kind of do more proactive activity. And then I recenter myself at lunchtimes by going to the gym. And then in the afternoons, it's quite flexible, right? So I go to appointments. If I don't have appointments, I'm doing some study. Sometimes I feel like just throwing the towel in and going play some golf. I love travel, so I'm always like planning the next adventure there. And I'm probably one of those people that likes to recharge alone too. Like I've got my sauna and my ice bath at home that I jump into 3 or 4 times a week. I also really enjoy like just going to eat by myself, like going to like a cafe or something like that, and just like thinking about what's next. Walking my dog, Harvey, who is like a frequent on my socials.
He's a very cute dog.
As popular as I am.
Yeah.
He's a very cute dog, yeah. And just walking with him like recenters me too. So I don't know. I'm pretty. I don't want to say boring. I'm just like a normal dude that loves growth, and I love aligning myself with people with the right values. And my life's quite exciting because I just meet so many people that you just never expect to meet that end up being lessons for you. And that's why like today we're doing this. I'm learning on the run here. I hope this is edited.
Yeah, likewise, we all are.
And I don't know, life's fun, and the only choice you get is what's happening in the moment.
You're a man from humble beginnings, and that's why I've always liked your brand. You've built yourself up so much success, but I think you stay level-headed and grounded. You're not out flashing, everything for what you have or where you're going and stuff like that. I think for me as a young businessman with a very, very small business at the time when we met a few years ago, I appreciate you make time for a conversation with me whenever I'd ask for it. And I've taken a lot of advice from you to be able to, grow my own brand and what I'm into. So I haven't been drawn into real estate yet, but I'm telling you it's coming.
Well, I think that's a credit to you and maybe a lesson for anybody else. And I'm guilty of this sometimes as well. When you're not in the right headspace, sometimes you feel like talking to that person that you can learn something from. You don't do it and you have regret.
For sure.
Last year, I had went into business with someone I wasn't aligned with. My ego might have been, but not my personality. And I think at the end of the day, if you just follow your gut, you got no regrets. And that's something that I will never do again. And my gut's always right. It's never led me off track.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I think in your mind at the time, you think, oh, this is opportunity, this is going to be something. And sometimes you need someone from the outside probably to shine a bit of light for you. I only this year I made a similar mistake. I went into business with someone, who was, I was warned not to go into business with and stuff. And I made a similar mistake and it cost me.
Why'd you do it?
At the time, I was looking for validation within myself. Yep. I was looking for growth, but I was looking for change. And I think at the time, maybe I didn't trust my skills or my brand enough. So the particular business I was getting involved in is in similar industry to what I'm already doing. And at the time, they reached out, they needed help, and they wanted me to use my skills to turn their business around. Mm-hmm. Now I thought, cool, I've got the skills, I can turn their business around. I can change the red to the green in the numbers wise, no worries. I can trust that I can do that. I hadn't sold, it's in a product industry. Everything in my business career has been in the service industry. I hadn't sold products as much before. So I thought, well, if I go into an already established business, even though it's way down the drain and needs years of hard work, if it's even going to come out on top, I didn't go back to my own personal values and my own truth about myself and go, yeah, you know what, why aren't I just spending the money and going and starting this business myself, making the same mistakes and learning from them? So instead I thought I saw an opportunity that was going to get things a lot further. It cost me, and it's cost me a lot of money. It's cost me a lot of time in the end, and it's a process, and we obviously can't go into too much details about that, but since then it was actually a really good lesson for me, because I've gone back to the drawing board and I've done what I know best, and that's starting from the bottom. And so what I did was I started the same business, same area, same city, and we've got a customer base. It's growing. It's been a super expensive start, but we already have a brand of customers who trust us because we've gone back to the drawing board and done what we know best. Yep. Yeah, I think that's really important for people to not rush into things. I'm the biggest at rushing into an opportunity. I will see opportunity before I see the grey behind it. So if someone says, oh, come and get involved in this, I want to get involved. I love getting involved with businesses. My gut didn't sit right with that opportunity, and like you say, your gut's always right. I think now, for the first time better than ever, I trust my gut. And since then, I've also had opportunities to work with other people, and I get a lot of opportunities to work with businesses and stuff. I get approached by a few businesses for things and stuff too. And now I've turned away opportunities. We take some in, and we're all about value. If you can value my time and you can appreciate who we are as a brand, I'll work with you.
Nice.
If not interested.
And it's good to have those values, and everything needs to be in alignment. And unfortunately, you have to learn those hard lessons like that. I did the same last year. My story is very, very similar. Certainly thinking back to it, I don't regret it. And if anyone who was a part of that journey with me last year is listening, thank you. I'm really grateful for that experience. And it's kind of removed the ego from me. I lost everything I'd ever built last year that I thought was important, and I realized it wasn't at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good that you say that, because and it's, when I say from before, you're a humble guy, and I feel that too about the opportunity I had. While I don't like the opportunity and it's hurtful to go through an experience like that, I'm going to be forever thankful as well, because I'm a better businessman. I'm a better man, and I'm actually better at my home again, because I was taking someone else's problems on and I was trying to fix their problems, and instead of focusing on my own business, my own life. And I feel like I've actually got my life back at home a bit as well. I'm sure my partner will listen. Hopefully she agrees, but
just give her a plug there.
Yeah, exactly.
Build that piggy bank.
Yeah. So no, she I feel like I've got that life back a bit, because I was taking on someone else's stress and someone else's problems that I never created myself.
Yeah.
And we have, what it's like. We have our own problems in our own businesses to deal with and stuff. And if the opportunity comes around to turn someone's business around again, sure, but it has to be the right people. They have to value me as a person as well.
That's what
So
it comes down to. And last year, I didn't value myself enough, and I was the only reason why this business would survive or not survive in this state. And I devalued myself, like 9 years of work to build up to that one moment. And I had decisions to make, and I decided with my ego rather than with my gut. So
sure.
I think that's a good takeaway for anyone that's listening. It's just like, you kind of know what the answer is. Sit with it, sleep on it, sleep a week on it,
Yeah.
then make a decision.
Don't make that decision overnight. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you say you realize you're the person who was going to make or break that situation, and I was the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to valuing my time, I did not put a price on and like I said, it actually cost me more than I gained out of it. And I didn't put a price on my time. I put a price on helping someone's problems. And when I go back and, you know, if you want to break down your week and go, okay, what is my time worth? Nowhere near. It would have been, you know, the margins were, you know, not something to even sit in. Didn't cover time at all. I did it to help someone in their problems. And now I'll forever learn from that. And I know my value. I know my worth. Not to be cocky or anything like that, but you know, I know I'm a nice enough guy to work with, and I've had great working relationships with customers, suppliers, the whole lot over the last 5 years in business. And you know, I even have people who've, you know, my day ones, that's what I call them. I've got a select group of customers who have been my day ones in one business. And, you know, now that we have so many businesses, what we're looking at the moment is actually getting them involved in other businesses. And that's why we start so many now too. So it's not just, you know, don't just come to us for one. Don't come to us for the cleaning and not get the gardening. You know, there's a bit of a drop there, but we have a gardening brand coming too, and and things like that. Or, you know, if you're on NDIS or something, then, you know, you probably need cleaning or you probably need gardening. So there's, you know, it's a big collective fan-based customers who can use all our service. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Doing well for 24, mate.
I appreciate it. So what does the future look like for you? Right now you're at Tarnby. You know, it's really, really cool company. You were just saying before, you won a national award for best boutique business in real estate. Talk me through that.
So the team that's there now, you know how the full circle moment where, like last year, I started a company and then that didn't work out, but I didn't bring anyone I loved with me. And now at Tarnby, they've all naturally just come. So Colby Harris, he's worked with me for 5 years, and Katina Rennie, who worked with me for just the same time. We had a pretty powerful team when I was at top of my game in real estate, you know, selling about 100 homes a year thereabouts, and we sell high-end property. So we're doing pretty well for ourselves, especially back in that COVID little time. I've aligned to those people. You know, we've like created a brand. They're well and truly a part of what we've created. And now they're with us at Tarnby as well. Everyone's a country person in there, so we're all down to earth, and like you kind of walk in and you feel like you're around your family each day. So it's a pretty nice place to be. Everyone's recognised, everyone's valued for what they contribute to the business. Whereas I came from like, you know, Harris, where there's like 300 people there, and you just get lost in the noise sometimes. And that's no offense to Harris. That's how they choose to do their business. They're a wonderful organisation, and like I had a great time there, learned everything I needed to know. But now working for a small boutique, there's a lot more love and control in where we're heading, and we're all aligned in the same plan. So the vision for Tarnby in the short term would be to grow the sales force to around 30 people. They already do like incredible work. Like they're number one in the state for off the plan sales. And that's how they built their reputation without us being there. But now they've given a lot of autonomy to, say, me and the guys I just mentioned to create this sales team. That's exciting. Like we almost feel like we're a startup. And
and you have the flexibility to go back to what you know and build your own brand in that space.
And again, back to the lessons, I did learn something when I was at the at Harris, and I did learn something when I was at the previous agency where it didn't work out. And I brought all that energy into this business, and I've molded it into the Tarnby way. And anyone who walks in the walls feels something different. And I think it's probably a brand that Adelaide needs at the moment. If you look around the place, they're all like big corporates now, whereas boutiques now cool again.
And Tambi stands out so well. Like I said, the marketing is just so cool.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's Taylor Tambi is the founder of the company, isn't she?
She's the owner of
Okay,
the company.
right.
John Tarnby, who sits quietly behind the scenes, takes all the video of everyone.
Yeah.
He's the master behind it all.
Okay.
Very smart businessman, very humble as well. And he's got all the connections for off the plans, and he sells a lot of properties, never talks about it.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
very powerful.
Because
business.
I'd heard of Taylor before I had heard of John. So
Correct.
yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize he's the man behind the camera.
He's the man. There's always someone behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
they should be applauded. Taylor's like a queen. Like she really has it going. She's the fashion. She's the brand for Tarnby. She wants to step away from the sales side and get more involved with the business side, which gives me the opportunity to take over the sales side, and we're aligned in that way. So it's exciting for me. I reckon the next 2 to 3 years, I feel like I'm an entrepreneur right now, like helping this company grow. And then I want to introduce AI into this business because it's so small, we can kind of control that component. And I'm working behind the scenes at the moment on something which will hopefully be a bit of a disruptor in the industry.
Great. And 10 years in the industry, you know better than me in my own career that there's so much change. You mentioned things like AI and stuff like that. I think it's really good to be able to adapt to all the change in the world around you. And, you know, with a lot of businesses I deal with and work with, you know, sometimes people are stuck in what worked 27 years ago or 28 years ago.
They feel safe with it, eh?
Yeah, and the world changes around you, and the buildings are going up and buildings are getting knocked down. And, you know, it's really good that you're always looking to adapt the change for what's around you. And I think that's something we try so hard to do is, I mean, I hardly know about AI enough. I should know a lot more about it. I asked one of our office workers the other day, sitting backstage right now, if she could make me up a document, and she gave it back to me in about 34 seconds, and I said thanks ChatGPT, and she says, I know they did a good job of it though, right? And I thought about it for a second. I thought, well, I sort of just asked someone to make this document for me, but I was thinking I should have just asked the computer, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Like the productivity has just gone through the roof because for something that I was willing to wait 45 minutes to an hour for, I've now got it in 30 seconds. And I'm like, I'll take that change the way the business is going. And I'm like, I'll take that any day.
Well, I cheated this morning. So you asked me to send through a bit of a brief about me. I got ChatGPT to do that for me. I said, tell me about myself and answer these questions. And it knows me better than I know myself.
Yeah.
And then when you read it, you're like, oh, yeah, that is me.
It does know so well, doesn't it?
It does. And it's only as good as what you put into it. But I think in the world of the customer, their expectations are so high on speed. And if you're 2 hours delayed, they perceive you as being too slow, and they perceive you as being a bit of a dinosaur now. And so AI has the ability to respond quickly.
Yeah, straight away
and with accuracy.
For sure.
You know?
I think you're right about the customer. The customer dynamic is changing as well. They don't want to wait for anything. The businesses I work in, we have more competitors than you can think of. You can click the fingers and someone will be at your doorstep that afternoon. And it's that simple. So I think if we were to say to customers, we can do that in 6 weeks or 4 weeks, or, you know, we have a waiting list even. They don't want to wait. They don't wait for anything anymore.
They'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, they'll go somewhere else because, you know, the businesses and the industries I work in, there is hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, in the, you know, places we work, depending on the town and how big the city and stuff is. Yeah, you know, you do the wrong thing or you tell people they have to wait, they don't want to. And I think the customer dynamic has changed so much. I was watching a video the other day, this lady online asking AI a lot of things on a phone call and stuff like that. And it was AI answering the calls the whole time. And I was thinking, you can't even tell the difference.
No, you can't.
I think that's probably something that our business will eventually get into. And I mean, our business is all about relationship and stuff, but our business is about productivity as well. And customers want productivity because with productivity comes a good price.
I came up with this theory 5 years ago. It's called convenience is the new loyalty. Like I was like sitting down thinking, I'll probably never go to my favorite restaurant anymore. I'll use Uber Eats to do that because it's more convenient to get it delivered to your house. And now I'm loyal to that brand. Yeah. Like I'm loyal to Uber, I'm loyal to Uber Eats. Yeah. And they're now taking over as the new company. So the kind of the framework that I'm working on behind the scenes is that for real estate. I'm pretty excited by it. Like it's energizing me because I think it's what the industry needs to be a bit more professional. It's easy to get to be a real estate agent, but I feel like we're very dated in how we do it. And there's some companies that are changing the game with their marketing, but they're not changing the game within.
Yeah. So they're changing with the front of the business. Me as a customer, I'm seeing, and that's, that's right. Because I follow quite a few real estate businesses because I love the way that you guys do marketing. I think it's really cool. Our marketing in our businesses are changing so much. We're actually going to properly get into it now. We've been really shit at marketing for the last 5 years, and I used to believe word of mouth was the most important thing for growth. Word of mouth is good. Yep. It's fantastic, but imagine the opportunity you miss out on by not reaching the right people in front of you. Every time I talk to a marketing agent or the staff, etc., I'm always saying to them, I'm like, I want my businesses to represent like a real estate company does. Because I'm like, if we can represent the way real estate does, everything else, will look professional. It's really cool that you say everyone's doing good marketing in real estate now, but is everyone, running the structure of the business right? And
what's behind the hood? Yeah. And a lot of businesses, if you talk to 100 companies, they'll all complain about profitability, and the margins are so different now. AI is going to be the solution to that, to increase profitability again for these businesses and make business more fun again for real estate companies. I think the customer experience can be elevated if we're not doing a lot of the foundational tasks each day.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys can save so much more time for yourselves, I feel like there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes into real estate that people wouldn't notice. And, I can imagine the grueling hours and paperwork.
There's a lot.
It's a big turn off for me to be able to have to fill out that much paperwork, but I'm sure AI will be doing the majority eventually as well. So
that's the point, because no one puts value to what happens behind the scenes. And the only way you kind of realize how big it is if you went to go sell your own house and had to get everything ready for it. Yeah. And then you stress yourself out and call an agent because it's too hard.
Yeah.
But I feel like someone like me, the agent, if you're really good at what you do, I can influence someone to spend 10% more on a property. That's why you pay me 2%. So I'm an investment strategy for you to get the outcome. And I can give you like case study after case study after case study on how I do that. And I'm the last 5% guy. And so when you want me at your house more than you want me in the office.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. And you're the brand as well, right? And I'm interested, and I'm sure people are interested to hear, because, you're a super successful real estate agent. People want you. They want you, your face, and I'm sure your brand. How does that work behind the scenes, having a team to help you, in the sense, my businesses once upon a time, they wanted me, and now they want our general manager, or they want our region manager and stuff. So that's obviously changing over time. But how does that work for you? Because real estate is your face.
So I feel like the promise is that you get me. I'm not me without my team, right? So the people that support me back in the office, I trust. We've mentored them to be able to do the job, and like working with someone for 5 years, an example, you don't need to say how to do it anymore. They just know how you want it done. And so the more time I can free up by delegating things that I'm not so good at, and call it AI or call it help behind the scenes, the more I can do for the customer, which is what they've asked me to do and what they expect me to do. And so freeing up my time is through delegation and focusing on what I'm really, really good at. I'm really good at influencing people to make decisions that are in their best interest. That's kind of like my DNA. And I'm good at influencing competition when there is none. And that's a skill that I've learned over many, many years. I'm good at being like a straight shooter and telling people like hard advice that they need to know so that they can actually make a good decision for themselves. And a lot of deals get left on the table in real estate. If they're within 5% as an example, you actually need to have a tough conversation with them, because they're not connecting with why they chose to sell it in the first place. They're connecting with the problem, which is what that 20 grand is going to do for their life. But if they don't sell the property, they're not disconnecting from the pain that they're in. And so you've got to kind of help them through that with psychology. Same goes with the buyer. The buyer's trying to solve a problem for themselves. And so that last 5% is where all the magic happens.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's great. You're a good leader. You've got a good team behind you. And I love that you say you're nothing without, like you're not Taylor without the team.
No way.
And that's the same with me. I have a huge team across, 2 states in Australia. And, while some customers might than it might be with my brand because of what I've built or because they love our story, is I'm nothing without them. I'm just the dickhead with the ABN, and that's what I say to the staff sometimes is I'm just the dickhead with the ABN, because at the end of the day, you know, I'm a good leader, you know, and I try my best to lead a team. I'm learning every day to be a better leader and be better for my team, but at the end of the day, my brand is not anything without the people behind me. And I think I said to you before, I used to spend so much time since I started in business growing the business. All I was focused on was business, grow that, get the revenue up, get the profit high, spend less. And now I don't work on that at all. I work on the people. If it's, you know, if I can do something for my team, and while I have a huge team, I'd love to spend more time with absolutely every single person in my team. Unfortunately, I can't do that anymore, but I can work with my managers and our ops team to be the best leaders that they can be as well, to, you know, really put that down right. Doesn't matter what position you work in our business, you're here for a reason, and you know, we love what you do, and at the end of the day, even if it's the, you know, position at the lowest pay grade in our company, they are the people that hold the piece together, and they're the ones actually doing the work. So, you know, it's really important that, I guess, you as a face in the forefront of real estate, is you've got the backbone, and if your backbone's not right, everything falls to pieces.
Yeah, and you feel it too. So I could be out there with the customer, but if I know I don't have the backing from my team, then I'm not out there with full confidence I can help that person.
Yeah.
And we've all got different skill sets. Like, you know, people in the office that are in a role that's detail orientated are never going to say they want to be the face out there making these hard calls and that last 5%. That's my skill. So I feel like for anyone that's listening, really like get to know what you're really good at.
Yeah.
And then delegate the rest to people that are better at it, and really respect them for it, and be grateful that they're there helping you with the plan.
Yeah.
And alignment's an important thing. Like I think I've said that like 5 times. It's probably my most important word at the moment. If you're working with someone that it doesn't feel aligned with, then you're never going to be fulfilled in that role.
Exactly.
You know?
And capitalize on the opportunity of what you're good at.
Yeah.
You know, there is a lot of skills in our business I am absolutely terrible at. And one thing I am good at now, because I rather pay someone to do it, because 1, I don't want to do it. 2, I'm shit at it. I'm absolutely the worst at doing it. 3, if I do it, I'll probably do it wrong, and someone will have to fix it anyway. And I think it's really important for me as well, and to align with myself and go, what am I good at? I'm good at building relationships with people. I'm good at leading a team, and I'm good at growing a business. I never thought I'd be good at that, but it seems to be that's my skill set, and it's what I know best. Can't cook toast at home. I can't cook. I can hardly clean. Sorry to all the customers. I have quite a big cleaning business. I'm a terrible cleaner. Yeah. And I've done a lot of it too, but that's, you know, really important to look at what you're good at and stick with that, and find someone to do the rest.
That's the old dentist mentality, isn't it? Yeah. The dentists always have the worst teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'm the most. Yeah. Oh God, I'm absolutely the worst at some of the things. But our business is built through leadership now, and for you're an influential leader. You know, you've got a great team behind you. What is the future of real estate? Are you looking to grow your personal brand even more, and your team? Are you happy with where you are?
Well, to be honest, I'm trying to find love at the moment. I feel like...
So for anyone listening, Taylor Bishop is recently single.
I am, yeah. That's my biggest priority at the moment, really, is to find that life partner for myself, being like close to 35 now. And work for me is fulfilling. Like, I probably don't need to be like the number one dude anymore. I'm not really interested in that. If I end up being that, so be it. I just really want to be present while I'm at work and be at peace. That sounds kind of crazy. That in our company now, we don't celebrate the who finished first, who finished second, who finished third. We don't look at the numbers. We look at how people are feeling within the business. Are they feeling fulfilled? Are they feeling purposeful? And that's the exciting journey that we're on now. So if you were to say to me, like, what does Taylor Bishop want to do? Well, technically, I do want to be like the number one agent in the state, and I want to sell the best homes, and I want to beat my rivals. I'm a natural born competitor, which is why I've chosen this field. But for me now, it's like, it's about the team. It's about how I go home and put my head on the pillow each night. am I fulfilled in what I'm doing? Am I feeling peaceful in what I'm doing? Am I growing as a person? Is it aligned with my values? Is my energy in the right place? That's what's important to me now.
We all want to win, don't we? We all want to be the best. We all, it doesn't matter what we do. We all want to be the best at it. But yeah, I think that's great because while we want to be the best, we have other priorities in our mind as well. If it happens, fantastic. And I feel like I actually get further in my life and business when I'm actually not trying to push to be the best. I'm just trying to now be the best person I can be. Can I actually get home early enough that my partner doesn't hate me for the day? So no, she never hates me for the day, but can I be involved in actually helping around the house, or not just sitting at the office till 9, 10, 11 p.m. because what are you achieving? If you're waking up early and you're going home late, what do you get?
No.
I mean, for you said you go to the gym in the middle of the day, but that's probably the only break you were getting at one point. And yeah, I do something similar twice a week at lunchtime. Even though the phone rings the most around lunchtime, I just put it down and I go, you know what, like it's things will happen when they happen, and the more we focus on ourselves, the further we seem to get anyway. And yeah, it takes a long time to realize that, but
it's about quality over quantity. Like that's always been something I've, even from day dot, that I've always thought about. So in our industry, it's like make 50 calls a day, you will sell more properties. I don't believe that to be true. I believe you should make like 5 really good ones, and then the rest can just happen from there. But if you make 5 really good calls and you get 4 appraisals out of it, and someone's making 50 calls and getting 1, I know who I'd rather be.
For sure. Yeah. It is a quality thing, isn't it? And that's what I like about your brand as well, is you are selling purely high-end real estate. Is there opportunity for you to sell sort of low to mid-range price houses? Do you refer them on to someone, or do you take what you can get?
If I like the person, I always help the person.
Yeah.
I don't sell the house. Like I rarely sell a house. I'm always helping the person. If I don't like someone, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I've learnt that through the hard lessons of obviously having clients that are hard work. So that's another part of peace for me, is to work with people that I'm aligned with, people that give me energy. And so I don't market it, but I do sell a lot of properties of all types. And not many people know that about me. They always say, oh, you sell the high-end property. No, I just choose to show that to the marketplace because I'm trying to create a long-term brand that Taylor Bishop sells the high-end properties. That's where I want to be in 10 years' time. I've always said that. Now I'm at the 10-year mark. You just say I'm selling high-end property. And it's true, but I also help the people that are trying to progress.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good to know. So it's very much a brand thing because like I said, I only see that you're selling the high-end property. I didn't actually know you help everyone else as well.
Marketing's on point then.
Yeah, you do a good job of it.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Well, Taylor, I think it's probably time to wrap this up. But yeah, it's a really special episode. You're a super successful guy. Thank you so much for taking the time to, out of your busy day to come and talk to us on the podcast. And hopefully, like I say in all the episodes, we're trying to build a community of like-minded people who, even if they can learn a thing from you or myself, from all the good and the bad that we've been through the last 5-10 years. But yeah, so thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to leave for the guests on the way out?
Yeah, one of the things that's shifted with me is don't focus on the outcome, focus on the process. So internally validate yourself, learn how to do that. That sounds easy. It's very, very hard to do it. We're so used to the external, getting the medals, getting the recognition, getting the claps. How about we start internally validating ourselves so that we feel that inner peace and we go to the world shifting the energy in the right direction? That would be my take.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thanks everyone for the Dive Minds podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Josh Arnold, and I hope today's episode gave you a fresh perspective, a little motivation, or the push you needed to keep chasing your version of success. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay focused, stay driven, and keep your mind dialed in.